Central Texas. Welcome to Kids Community Connections, 103.1 Kids FM. And I want to say good morning. And you know what? This is my weather. I'm loving this right now. I can now breathe. I'm not choking to death. I love it. For those of you who don't, I'm sorry. But, you know, this is my weather. And I'm just happy that it's here. And I want it to continue and stay so I can do better and breathe better. And Mel's is shaking his head no, and I don't know why. Because there's 3 women in here. We outnumber him, so we're not complaining. So he's going to lose on that point. But, you know, we're going to have a very informative morning. But first, I want to say something to you. Yes, it's fussing. I'm getting on my soapbox. You know, this week, Killeen Police Department did a no-knock warrant on an African-American family. And this is the second one they've done. They've both been only African-American families. They did this knowing they did a flash bomb explosion in the house, knowing that there was a 9-year-old girl in there. Didn't care. They just did it. My question is, what are you doing about it? You know, every time there's something happens in another state, oh man, we complain, we fuss. I would do this if I was there. I would do that. Okay, well, guess what? In Killeen, two no-knock warrants. One, a cop died and a man's being charged with capital murder. His case will start next year. Second one this week, they wanted only to arrest a man with an outstanding warrant. Just an outstanding warrant, but I chose to go in. They did a flash bomb, like I said, knowing that it was a 9-year-old girl in that house sleeping. So my question to you is, what you going to do about it? I know what I'm going to do. I'm contacting the chief. But what are you going to do about it? Because if you're not going to do anything about this and it's in your city, then be quiet about every other city and what happens. Just be quiet, roll over, shut up. And I did say that, shut up. And don't say anything. Because if you are fussing about one and you're accepting the other, then you're not really true to where you live at. Because if we're teaching our kids that it takes a village to raise a child, then some of y'all need to move out the village because you're not caring about it at all. So you know I got to say something about that. And yes, I'm challenging everybody who's listening. Call the chief. His name is Charles Kimball, in case you've forgotten. He's new, he's fair, but call him and ask him. You know, because yes, he works to protect our community, but he works for us. We don't work for him. So like I'm saying, take your community. I'm not going to say take it back because we never gave it away, but control your community and find out why these things have happened only to African-American families. And this is the second one they've done. So pay attention, wake up, and do something about it. So that's my soapbox. You know I had to have one because there's no way I'm going to let anybody get away with this one. And like I said, what am I going to do about it? I'm going to call the chief. So I'm not going to tell you about something that I'm not willing to step up and take care of and do. So I challenge everybody, like I said, contact Chief Charles Kimball, in case you don't know his name. That is his name. And you can find his email address online through KPD. But call him. Even if you don't live in Killeen, call him and ask him why. Just why. He owes you an answer. He does. Contact your city council people and make them ask him why. And, you know, just make sure that it doesn't go by again, because how many times it's going to happen where we just roll over. So it's time to stop rolling over and stand up. All right. Now, that was it. Okay, now we're going to move on. You know, I have a very interesting guest. She's a friend of mine. I've been knowing her for a long time, quite a long time. And I've always admired her of what she does. She's never did anything where I go like, well, are you crazy? You know? You know, but she's always doing something very interesting. So good morning, Diana. How you doing?
Good morning, Phyllis. I'm great. Thank you.
Good. Okay. When I guess recently saw you again, you were talking about a product called Cherish. Mm-hmm. And it's the sanitary napkins for, well, females. Yes. Can you talk more about it?
Well, the Cherish pad basically is designed for women because women have been unaware for so long of what's being put into the sanitary napkins that they're currently using on the market today. And so this product has actually been in existence for over 18 years over in Asia, but they brought it to the States at one time, and for some reason it didn't work, so they brought it back again. And this time it's taken off like wildfire, because women need to be educated. They need to know what's in the pads that they're using. And so that's the purpose of the Cherish pad, which is a healthier alternative for them.
So how would a person visually know the difference? Because, you know, we're in a visual community, visual society. So we want to see what happens with either pad, you know, versus the store one, you know, versus Cherish. How do we know?
You asked that question, Phyllis. We actually do demonstrations on the products where we actually we have focus groups, and we actually demonstrate and show them visually what happens with the pads. We break down the pads layer by layer and show them what the pad is constructed of and actually explain what's in the pads.
So, and yeah, I saw the first time I learned about it, I saw it on, of all things, Facebook, of course. And it was two men.
Yes.
They used ketchup. Yuck. But they did. And, you know, they did it on the kitchen counter. First of all, it was awesome to see two men doing it.
Yes. Yes.
You know, because that's not what men buy or they use. But it was awesome to see them do it. And they did it with ketchup. And it was like, wow, okay, fine.
Yeah. Well, the reality of that is they actually used a theater blood is what that was. And because they wanted to really show, you know, which was a little graphic for some, but it brought the point home about, you know, what they were trying to do. The interesting thing about that is with this particular product, we have more men involved in this campaign. It's not so much the product. We promote the campaign, which is the Now We Know, but we have more men involved in this program because they're concerned about their women.
Right.
You know, men wonder why women come home, you know, and they're having their feminine flow. They're irritable. They don't want to be bothered. They don't want you to talk to them, you know, and then the men's response is, oh, she's just having her moment.
Right.
But if they really knew what all was involved in, you know, going through that menstrual flow and what they have to deal with those pads and the effects that those pads are having on them, they would be irritable too.
Right. The long-term effect.
Yes.
So who brought it to the United States?
It was actually brought to the United States by three gentlemen, and they actually started the company they started talking about it back in 2016. The company launched in March of this year, and it's been phenomenal. They're doing inspired tours across the country, bringing awareness about the dangers that the sanitary napkins have on our women.
If somebody wanted to know more about it or wanted to, you know, really buy them, or study, because you know you need to study before you jump off into something. Absolutely. How would they know? Who would they contact?
Well, we do have a website. It's called nowweknow.net, and there is a lot of information there, plethora of information there about the pads, about the performance of the pads, and there are also some testimonials there of women who have actually used the pads and the results that they have gotten. You can purchase the pads right now through any distributor, and we do have distributors all over. There's no territory, so if you know somebody, you can contact that distributor, or you can contact me. That'll be fine.
Okay.
Or go to the website.
Okay.
And soon we will have the customer website available on November 1st, where people can actually go to our customer website and order
and purchase it.
Yes.
So what drew you to the product?
Well, basically because women are suffering. When I saw this campaign, and that's the main thing, the campaign, the Now We Know campaign, it's more about getting the awareness out. Because when you think about women who are using these products, they're doing what their mother told them or what their friend told them. And so they're continuing to do that with no education.
Right.
And so this provides an education piece to say, hey, might take a look at this.
Right.
You know, they'll go to the store and they'll buy these products, never questioning what's in them and what they're made of.
Correct.
They don't know that they have wood fibers, they have old newspaper, they have trash, all that has been bleached, put through a process to give it that white appearance. And it gives off a chemical called dioxin. And I encourage the audience to do their research on dioxin, but dioxin is 10 times more deadly than cyanide. So they're being exposed to these chemicals and unaware of that. So my main focus is to bring the education.
Good. Because we need that because, excuse me, wow. Me and Alex just still having a fight. It's important that you bring it to us and to everybody because we have upcoming girls.
Absolutely.
Who need to understand before it begins, this is what you should be able to do. And for parents to be able to tell their kids, hey, listen, as you talk about the facts of life to your child, you can introduce something that's healthy.
Yes, because many of us, or particularly in my age group and maybe your age group, we grew up with it being a taboo subject.
Yes,
we didn't talk about that. We got the little box,
right,
with the belt and the pad and the book, right? That was our education.
That was the gift box. Yes.
Here you go. But it was never explained because they didn't know at the time what they were being exposed to. So I just want to encourage everyone to do your research. Ask the questions. We need to have the conversation. It needs to be talked about. It's not taboo anymore. We can talk about everything else.
There you go.
We need to talk about this because women are dying. They're getting fibroids, cancers, endometriosis, miscarriages, and all of those types of things. And many of them have been contributed to what's being used in these pads.
Yeah, because not only do you have women who use them monthly, some women use them the small ones, or I forgot what you call those things, but the little ones that they wear every day.
The panty liners.
Yeah, the panty liners.
Yes.
And they wear those every day.
Every day.
So they're not understanding what's going on, not only those 5 or 6 days a month, but it's an every day that they're actually absorbing particles that are not good. When I did research Inspire, I went through that. Then I went past that. What I mean by past that, I went past that as far as our history is concerned, to find out that women just used to use, before there was any napkins, period, they just used cotton.
Yes.
Which was better.
Absolutely.
So I'm like, but yeah, they use cotton, and however they used it or whatever. But then they used it because they didn't want, there was nothing else to use. So I'm like, so later they found a way to hurt you, instead of helping you. So the safe way was when they were using what they had.
Yes.
So I was like, wow.
Absolutely. Well, they were using those back then, which is true. And a lot of the sanitary napkins now, they use some type of chemical plastic type material, which can be very abrasive, and it can be very irritating, especially on sensitive skin. With the Cherish pad, that top layer is cotton, is 100% cotton.
See, there you go.
And so they don't have to worry about that. The Cherish pad actually absorbs 10 times or 300 times its own weight in liquid. So it's going to pull that moisture away from the body, allowing the woman to have more comfort and to be able to wear that pad a little longer than she would with the conventional pad.
That's very true. That's very true. So how can we help? Those of us who we know about the product, we do know, but we might reach more people at certain times. So what can we, the public, do to help?
We are really interested in partnering with women's groups and churches and organizations to bring the awareness. We would like to get the information out there just so that people know. So we are willing to come into to those organizations and to those communities and to the churches and do these focus groups so that people are aware of it. And there's no charge for them. The focus groups may last anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour. So it won't take a lot of your time, but it's very good information that people need to know. And a lot of other information, as I mentioned before, can be found on our website at nowweknow.net. And the know, I mean, when you think of know, it's not the KNOW. The reason being is because we're saying no to the industry. Now we know. We're not going to let you hurt our women anymore. We are aware of what you're doing, and we're going to make everybody else aware. So now that we know, we want you to know. Okay. And we do have 4 flavors. Someone asked me. Someone just shot me a message and said, "Hey, do you have panty liners?" Yes, we have 4 flavors. We have the day, the night, the overnight, and we have the panty liner. Or you can contact me at 254-781-9555.
So not to jump ahead, but the other guest, Irene here, she belongs to a number of organizations. So she could contact you and you'd come out and just demonstrate and show and talk.
Oh, absolutely.
Or actually teach.
Yes, absolutely.
A safer way.
We'd be happy to do that.
Because like I said, that's why I'm asking you, how can we help? Because things grow when people all contribute. Because what you're doing is phenomenal. But if we don't help you get the word out there, then I'm not going to say what you're doing is lost, but you end up beating bushes that you don't need to beat. When we could call and say, hey, listen, I'm having a friend that's over with, some snacks or whatever, and can you come by? Or like I said, Irene belongs to a couple of organizations where she knows she can contact you and say, hey, listen, you know, we need to, can you come out and give us some dialogue and talk about it?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And one thing I do want to point out, I just want to kind of go back for a minute, if I may. Women that are older, who may be beyond this stage, have the feeling, and what I've found is that they have the feedback that, oh, I'm not doing that anymore. You know, so they're totally oblivious. They don't want to hear anything you have to say about it.
Right.
But the truth of the matter is, it affects all of us. Yeah. Those same women who are not maybe having that cycle anymore, they have daughters, they have granddaughters, they have children, they have friends who have these, you know, who have problems.
Right.
And so this is one way to just pass the information along. We're not asking you to use it. If you don't want to, that's fine. But at least tell somebody else about it.
At least know an alternative.
Yes.
You know, to know. And like I said, even though like some of us that no longer, but to me, it's part of the village. You know, it goes back to the village.
Yes.
You know, no, I don't use them anymore. But we need to reach back and say, hey, you know what? This is here. This is who you contact. This is the you know, what's going on. If you care about your body. And since we're now becoming more health awareness.
Yes. Health conscious. Yes, we are.
We are. We need to totally become health conscious. So what else does this company do? Anything else other than the Cherish?
Yes, we do have other we call them nutraceuticals. We do have a memory booster for, so, you know, we get to be like my age. We tend to forget things. But not only just us. I'm not just going to say it's for us. But, you know, when you think about somebody that's in school or somebody that's you know, may have issues with remembering things, excuse me. You know, we do have a nutraceutical for that. It's called Empower. And we also have the male and female enhancements. And we also have testosterone boosters for our men. You know, you think about men with prostate. Right. You know, they need help. Yeah, they need help with that. So we're not only catering to the women and their needs, we're also catering to the men and their needs with their testosterone and things of that nature and prostate health.
See, and that's good because men, we need to somehow or another, men will talk about the Cherish pads, which are great. So we need to open the door and let men be more forthcoming and talk about other things.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Because when it comes to health, you know, men, you got to knock them in the head and drag them.
Yeah, exactly. But in all fairness to the men, they are getting better.
Yeah, they are.
Guys, you are getting better.
Yeah, they are.
But we don't have enough of them getting better at it.
Yeah.
So we do need to get that out there. The Cherish has been in the forefront for so long because that is our flagship. And so that's why that has been so vocal. We've been so vocal about that. But it's coming. Right. You're going to see it plastered everywhere.
So throughout your teachings about Cherish, has anybody, what do you want to call it, gave you a feedback of no, never, no, I trust what I use?
I do. I get that all the time. And because they're resistive, I mean, that's people do what they've been doing. Right. They're resistive to change. And if we could just get them to see the health benefit. You know, they'll say things like, "Oh, I get more in a pack over here."
Right.
You know, but when you think about the junk that you're getting in that pack versus a quality product, you have to look at the whole picture.
Right.
You know, are you willing to continue to risk your health versus making a change now and doing something different?
That's good. So everywhere you go, do you mention it?
I'm going to be honest, not everybody. And the reason being, there's a time and place for everything. Right. You know, there are times when it's just not feasible to bring it up. So, but every chance I get where I can jump in there, I will. Because I want people to know.
Okay, cool. Well, I want to thank you for coming on.
Thank you
to talk about it. And one more time, can you tell us the name of the product and the website address and all the other information so that we can reach you or the product?
Okay. You gave me a lot. I need my memory pills for that. But the name of the product is Cherish, and it is a feminine sanitary napkin, the best sanitary napkin on the market. The company is Inspire. It's in within the letter Inspire, not I Inspire. You can go to the website at nowweknow.net. That's nowweknow.net. I have to stress that. You can contact me at 254-781-9555 and just leave a message because I am out and about doing a lot of things, and I promise you I will get back to you as soon as I possibly can.
And she will. And guess what? I have my pamphlet with me. Because what I'm going to ask is, can I have some more to pass out?
Absolutely.
Because we all need to be, now in this years that we found, we need to all be walking phone books of information, because at any time you don't know where you're going, if you're like me, and I guess your lifestyle and Irene's lifestyle, our lifestyles are not different from anyone else's, but we're really involved. Yes. So there are times when we're somewhere where we can say, hey, you know what? Along with that, can you put this in here too?
Yes, or I know this person that does that.
Yes,
here.
Yes. So we need to be walking phone books. We need to remember that, because phone books don't exist, but we do.
Yes,
and we need to also always have ways to pass on some pertinent information that we know that we might not need, but someone else does, because we've got to remember, if we're talking about the village, then we know people who need the information.
We have to help. That's right. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for having me.
Oh, always. And we're going to take a break and come back.